If you had $10,000 to your name right now, what would you invest in? Is there a reason you chose Tesla over the other EV competitors? What's the best investment you ever made in your life? Despite inflation, what is one thing you're still buying today? Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get a Tesla in the future?
Get it. That's it. Get it.
Whatever Musk does, it's going to be first class. He's the Howard Hughes of the current age right now.
And what made you decide to get a Tesla?
Because I drove it. Oh my gosh. I love this car. This car is the best car I've ever had.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're out here in Southern California. We'll be asking Tesla owners what they do for a living, how much they make, and any tips on how to get a Tesla. So let's go. Hi, so what is your name and what do you do for a living?
I'm Gil, and I'm a nurse for a living.
How did you get into nursing?
My mom, I saw how they mistreated her, and I said I'd never treat anyone like that in my life, and that's when I decided to be a nurse.
Can I ask how much you make per year as a nurse?
About 150.
And what made you decide to get a Tesla?
Because I drove it. Oh my gosh, I drove every car you could think of, and I even put deposits on other cars. I took it off and just got this one. I love this car. This car is the best car I've ever had.
Is there a reason you chose Tesla over some other EV competitors?
Back then when I ordered it took like 8 months or 9 months before I can get it. I didn't know about the rest of the ones, but this is the one I did, and I tried it, and it was just amazing.
What would be one piece of advice for someone who wants to get a Tesla?
Get it. That's it. Get it. You want it, work for it, you can do it. You have 2 arms, 2 legs, go get it.
What's like the best investment you ever made in your entire life?
Family. Investing in your children is the best thing you could do.
If you had $10,000 to your name, what would you invest in?
I would go for another thing besides one world money system that they're trying to do right now. I would do in Bitcoin or something like that.
So crypto.
Yeah.
And then what would be one piece of advice you would tell your younger self?
Keep on studying, learning, helping people. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Hi, so what is your name and what do you do for a living?
My name is Mark Katz. I'm a business owner, self-employed.
Could I ask what type of business you have?
I'm in cookware. I'm an importer and producer. We have a unique product called Radical Pan. It's the only frying pan in the world that has a high-rise lid out of the pan, so you basically can saute and flip vegetables, omelets.
So how did you get into that business? How did you start?
I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in businesses for the past 30 years. I had a big operation, home textile manufacturing, so I'm in the kitchen accessories and home accessories.
Could I ask a range of how much you make per year as an entrepreneur?
About $500K.
$500,000 a year?
Yeah.
Any tips for getting into that business?
Networking with people, be open-minded, look into sourcing, bring a relatively unique product, design them and marketing them.
What made you decide to buy a Tesla?
I think it's the best car in the world. First of all, it's very innovative. We save a lot of money by not paying gas, especially in the state of California. It's green. I think a lot about the environment. The car is awesome, drives incredibly well, and I drove it a few times to Nevada, twice to Arizona. The supercharging system that Tesla built across the nation is amazing. You can literally drive to New York without any problems.
Is there a reason you chose Tesla over the other EV competitors like Rivian and all those other companies?
I think Elon Musk designed the best car in the industry. They are pioneers. They have the network, the infrastructure. The car is awesome, incredible, never failed on me.
What would be one tip for someone who wants to buy a Tesla in the future?
Look for specials and work hard, save money.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
What's your name and what do you do for a living?
I'm Rob, I'm a mortgage broker.
How did you get into that business?
I got into it when I was real young, when I was like 19 years old, and just killed it.
Can I ask how much you make per year?
Just say over 250.
Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get into what you do for a living?
Study. I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, you don't have to have even a college degree or even high school. I mean, obviously I have a little bit of that, but you can get in as long as you're good in sales and you can make it.
What made you decide to buy a Tesla?
Gas prices, honestly. And I've always liked them. They're cool cars, you know, but I hate the charging.
And what made you choose Tesla over other EV competitors like Rivian or any of these?
You know, it's just the style. He's done a really well job. I get another one, but I'd definitely get like more mileage.
Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get a Tesla in the future?
Definitely get long range. So my mileage is like 220. So when I go up to LA, I freak out. I mean, obviously there's charging stations, right? But it's just, you know, going up to LA, then coming back, I have like 20 miles left because I've got bigger tires, so it actually reduces the mileage down. Try to at least hit 300 or 400 miles. Bigger battery, basically.
What would be the best investment you ever made in your life?
Crypto, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of helium. I bought bought multiple of those like back in 2020. Yeah, that's actually what's made me quite a bit, about 150,000.
If you had $10,000 to your name right now, what would you invest in?
Probably more devices for my helium stuff because they're heading towards 5G.
What is one piece of advice you would tell your younger self?
Not to spend so much money. I've bought probably 35, 40 cars since I was 16. So I've gone through like, what is that, a half to 0.8 per year? It's stupid. You know, just keeping them more longer term. I had a Mercedes like SL 500 when I was like 23, and that was like 100 grand. It was stupid. I put down 25 grand and it was a lease. So I wasted 25 grand just to have that car. Keep a car for a good 5 to 7 years, definitely, as long as it's in good condition.
What would be your best tip for building wealth?
I mean, if you can live with your parents as long as you can, I mean, you know, you don't want to be that creep, you know, at 30 years old with girls coming over. Whatever you can to save money with rent. Rent's a big deal. You know, if you can do that, that's really where you're going to save a lot. And just tell yourself, you know, save as much as you can and try not to spend anything. Milk it as much as you can with your family or whatever your living situation is. That's definitely something that I wish I would have even learned.
Despite inflation, what is something you still spend money on?
Oh, my car. I've actually held back quite a bit. Camera gear and all that stuff.
What is one daily habit that you think everyone should do?
Definitely, I'm big on to working out and just eating healthy. Take your vitamins. NAD is I'm all about.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
Hi. So what is your name and what do you do for a living?
Sure, I'm Christina and I'm a lawyer.
So how did you get into studying law and getting into being a lawyer?
I became a lawyer because I wanted to help people and because I think a lot of times when people need a lawyer, they're going through really difficult stages in their life.
Do you specialize in any field in law?
I do. I specialize in telecommunications relay services for the deaf and hard of hearing. We do captioning for people in the United States who can't hear their phone calls, so people who like lose their hearing late in life or their primary mode of communication is spoken and they get captions in real time of what the person's saying to them using a stenographer or ASR so they don't actually have to disclose their hearing loss if they don't want to.
Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get into that study of law?
It's definitely a very niche area. I think definitely take administrative law. When I was in law school, I did not take administrative law, which is essentially how to work with administrative agencies like the Federal Communications Commission. So I had to learn on the job and that was difficult. So I would definitely do that and also volunteer in the deaf and hard of hearing community, work with community organizations, stuff like that.
What made you decide to buy a Tesla?
You know, California, gas prices are high. We were looking for an electric car. My husband was looking into what electric cars you should get. So he decided on a Tesla.
What do you like about your Tesla?
It's super comfortable. I love how comfortable it is.
What would be the best investment that you ever made in your life?
My investment in time and, you know, accessible technology and what I do today. I think that's the best investment that we've made.
Despite inflation, what is one thing you're still buying today?
Starbucks, I guess.
Do you like Starbucks?
Unfortunately, I do. I like it very much. I like coffee.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
What is your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Gennady. I'm from Russia. I'm a businessman. It's a big truck business.
How much do you make per year as a businessman?
30,000.
$30,000 a month.
Okay.
Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get into your business?
This business is very difficult, and you need to know the economic for your country.
Why did you buy a Tesla?
I always like a Tesla and like what you don't have to spend money on gas. And this is very environmentally friendly car.
What is the best investment you ever made?
My children. Because the goal of your life is simply to continue our offspring and give birth to children to enjoy this life for the children of the live fully.
Thank you so much for your time. Could I ask your name and what you do for a living?
I'm retired right now.
What did you do before?
I worked for a major industrial company.
Do you mind if I ask how much you made when you had your career?
$150,000 a year. I invested my money well and
Would you have any advice for someone who wants to get into what you did as a career?
go to school, study, get a degree, work hard, just work hard, save your money. Rather than spend it all when you're young, save it. Buy chickens, don't buy eggs. Don't buy eggs, buy chickens.
I like
when you're
that.
young. When you're young.
I like that. What's the best investment you ever made in your life?
Well, this is one of them because I don't pay for gas, but it's a great car. Runs nice. Maintenance is very, very low. Everything you want in a car.
What would be one piece of advice you would tell your younger self?
Stay focused. Stay focused on life. Don't do anything stupid. There's so many stupid things you can do in your life, and stay focused, that's all.
If you had $10,000 right now, what would you invest in?
Right now with the market so crazy, if I could find somewhere where I can get 4 or 5% on my money, that's where I'd put it right now. But I think once the market turns around, then I'd put it back in the market and buy, a lot of stocks.
What would be some advice you could give for someone who wants to get a Tesla?
Just buy it. Let me tell you, just buy the Tesla. If you could save your money in the long run, you'll be okay. I don't know why anybody would buy a gas-powered car today. I just don't know why they would do that. Whether it's Tesla or all the cars are going to be electric, why would you buy a gas-powered car with the price of gas? It's silly. It doesn't have to be a Tesla. It could be any electric car. But Tesla's way ahead of the game. They're way ahead of all the other companies that are coming out right now with electric cars. I mean, they're 6, 7, 8 years ahead of them. They got that other cars don't have. Eventually, the other cars will keep up. But as they keep up, Tesla's going to get better and better and better because they're so far ahead of the game. But they're all good cars. All electric cars are great. I'm a Tesla guy right now, so I would highly recommend Tesla.
Is there a reason you bought Tesla over cars like Lucid or Rivian?
Well, Lucid wasn't out when I bought this car, and Rivian wasn't out yet, but Tesla was out, so I bought this. But I think even now, I think I would still get a Tesla because they're ahead of the game. They're 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead of all the other cars. Plus, they have all these charging stations that the other ones are going to have to make and put around the country. These Teslas, they're all over. They're way ahead of the game. I just think Tesla right now is the best buy to get. Maybe in 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10 years from now, every company will have an electric car, and they're going to be better and better and better.
And then have you heard about the AI robot from Tesla?
I haven't heard that, but I'm sure it's whatever Musk does, it's going to be first class. He's the Howard Hughes of the current age right now. Because everything he does it great. People should listen to him more. He's smart.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications for future videos. I'm so glad we got to talk to all these Tesla owners. We learned so much, and they have so much wisdom to share. I really hope that you learned something today. As always, your life is a masterpiece. So let's unlock that full financial potential together. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.